Box Lowdown in association with Pep Talk UK. I'm delighted to be joined here by Frank Rowan here at the press conference. Frank, Anthony Yarde's opponent, Mehdi Amar, he went 12 rounds with Alexander Vostik last time out, so a significant step up for him. How difficult was it for you to get that opponent lined up for him?
Well, it's been difficult getting the fights that we want for Anthony. And basically, they're fights about him getting more and more experience, but we've got them. And you know, it's going to be another yardstick to see how far he's come. He had a big disappointment in the States. So he finished the year on a bit of a low note because of the nonsense with the commission out there and him not being able to box. But he's now got to make this year his year. So he's got this fight. He comes through it. The WBO, I understand, are going to order him, the winner of Alvarez and Kovalev rematch to fight him.
Oh, right, that's great. And I was actually going to touch on that with regards to Anthony Yarde not being able to fight on the Fury Wilder undercard. Such a massive stage it would have been for him. I take it he must have been really disappointed.
I was really disappointed. You know, we took the trouble and you know, we flew him out there. We flew the opponent in. We did it all, and the commission out there were just a nightmare. They wanted to know so many days before, because when you make a fight, an opponent can pull out. That's the nature of the sport. If you lose an opponent on the day of the fight or the day before, and the commissioner's saying you're not allowed to replace them, how can that work? You know, they're saying that if Tyson Fury had got injured, they wouldn't have got somebody in for Deontay Wilder. It was just a complete farce. I mean, they were a real bad commission to work with. I would never go there again. Unless unless it was a purse bid, then we'd be forced there. But you know, I thought they were a terrible commission to work with. It was very, very disappointing. And what really is annoying about it, there's no feeling for the fighter. You know, Anthony and I trained very hard. He flew out there.
I understand he flew out a lot of fans out there as well.
Fans are out there. I mean, where is any consideration for them? It's not cheap for fans to fly from the UK to get to the States and so forth. You know, where was any consideration towards him? It was outrageous.
Absolutely, and either way, it's good to have him back now, fighting in Leicester, joint headline in the card. Let's go back a little bit with regards to Anthony Yarde's career, because I know he didn't have an extensive amateur background. How did you manage to get in touch with him at the beginning?
It was my brother Robert. He was aware of him, and he mentioned it to me, and then eventually we got together with him and with Tunde. We done our deal, and you know, as I said, the rest is history. But as you say, he had limited experience as an amateur. I think it was 11 fights, and most of those were knockovers, so it's not like he even got distance as an amateur. He's a tremendous puncher. Yep. But he's been learning his craft, and he's a thorough professional. You only got to look at him. He hasn't got an ounce on him. He's always in training. He's always ready to fight. So I'm delighted with this, and he's a really lovely bloke to work with. You know, he gets it. He understands it. And you know, they're a good team. You know, him and Tunde work well together. So you know, it's quite good. You know, we've had obviously over the last year, there's a certain amount of people had their views of what fights they feel he should be having. But you know, our plan was always to get him into a position to fight for a world title, and he's in that position now. He's ranked #1. Yeah,
and it's a thriving light heavyweight division as well. In my personal opinion, I actually believe that it's probably the most deepest division in boxing right now.
Yeah,
so it's a very tough division to make a name for yourself. Yeah. But Anthony Yarde's managed to do that. Should he become successful in his fight against Mehdi Amar, he becomes #1 contender. Would that be the route you're going to go down straight away, or is it something you might consider later on?
Well, you know, if they order it, then we've got to make a decision. So we'll see what happens. But I have been informed they will after this fight, order that fight. So then it's decision time for us.
And lastly, just a bit of news with regards to Billy Joe Saunders. Good to see that he's been put in a mandatory position now to take on Saunders-Andrade. That's going to go to purse bids. Have you heard anything more from him with regards to that?
No, I mean, I told Bill we'd get him back in there, provided he behaved himself, and he's been working very hard. He's in good condition now. He's been training very hard with Dominic. So now it's up to him to get out there and get the titles back that he didn't lose in the ring. So you know, we worked hard behind the scenes, got him into the mandatory position. It's just a shame that all what happened to him last year. Again, it was a lot of nonsense that happened as regarding him having to vacate his title because of what happened in Massachusetts. You know, they don't do a lot of, you know, I don't think they do a lot of fights in some of these states, and I don't know, you know, we're challenging it still. We'll see what happens, but the bottom line is he's back in in the swing of things. He's a mandatory. I think he's definitely got the beating of Andrade. I'm convinced of that, especially after Andrade's last performance. So we'll see what happens.
Have to touch on Tyson Fury before I go. We know that that's going to go to purse bids if a deal can't be agreed before February. Do you have an update for us with regards to that?
No, we're still talking, and everybody's like-minded in making this fight happen. Few things we've got to sort out, but rather than do all our negotiating through the newspapers like some people do, you know, we're doing the business as we should do between the two parties. At the end of the day, I'm quite sure we'll get to a stage where we can announce the fight very soon.
It's a pleasure talking to you, Frank. Thank you for taking the time out to talk to us. Thank you.